Welcome to Classic Mystery Tales. I'm your host, Alexander Thorne. Today we embark on a thrilling journey back to the 1920s with a brand new Hercule Poirot mystery, inspired by the Queen of Crime herself, Agatha Christie. Settle in with a cup of tea, dim the lights, and let me transport you to the elegant yet shadowy world of Amberlight Arcade. This is Death of the Jeweler at Amberlight Arcade, a locked room whodunit that will keep you guessing until the very end. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. And remember, tell me in the comments where you're listening from. Is it a cozy armchair in London? Or perhaps a train ride across the continent? Chapter 1: Introduction and Setup. In the heart of 1920s London, where the autumn fog rolled in from the Thames like a silken veil, shrouding the grand boulevards in mystery, there stood a jewel of architectural splendor known as Amberlight Arcade. Picture it, dear listener. A covered passageway stretching for a full city block, its vaulted glass ceiling arching high above like the rib cage of some magnificent beast from a bygone era. Sunlight, when it dared to pierce the gloom, filtered through in prismatic shards, dancing across polished marble floors veined with gold. Ornate ironwork scrolled along the walls, depicting vines and flowers in exquisite detail, while gas lamps with frosted globes flickered to life each evening, casting a warm amber glow that gave the place its name. It was a sanctuary for the elite, a place where the whispers of high society mingled with the chime of cash registers, far removed from the clamour of Oxford Street or the grit of the East End. Shop after shop lined this elegant corridor. Madame Duval's silks from Paris, with bolts of shimmering satin cascading like waterfalls. Hargrove's perfumery, where scents of jasmine and sandalwood wafted out to entice the ladies. And at the very centre, gleaming like a crown in the midst of it all, Langford's jewels. Ah, but let me paint you a picture of that establishment, for it was the beating heart of our tale. Langford's was no ordinary shop. Its facade was a masterpiece of beveled glass and polished mahogany, with a brass sign etched in flowing script: Victor Langford, jeweler to the aristocracy. Double doors of etched glass swung inward to reveal a world of opulence. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, their pendants twinkling like captive stars. Display cases of finest walnut lined the walls, each secured with locks that could defy a safecracker. Inside them sparkled treasures beyond imagining, tiaras fit for duchesses, their diamonds catching the light in 1,000 facets, emerald necklaces that evoked the lush hills of Ireland, ruby rings that burned with the passion of forbidden love. And in the very back, behind a curtain of crimson velvet, lay Victor Langford's private office, a sanctum sanctorum, small and windowless, its heavy oak door fitted with a stout iron bolt on the inside. No one entered that room without Victor's say-so. Now the man himself, Victor Langford. At 55 years of age, he was a figure straight from the pages of a society column, impeccably groomed, with a mustache waxed to sharp points that rivaled the points of his finest cufflinks. His suits, tailored on Savile Row, hugged his slender frame with the precision of a lover's embrace. His eyes, a piercing blue, missed nothing. They appraised gems and people with equal shrewdness. Born to a modest family in Birmingham, Victor had risen through sheer cunning and an unerring eye for beauty. He sourced his stones from the diamond mines of South Africa, the ruby pits of Burma, the sapphire fields of Ceylon, all corners of the vast British Empire that bowed to King George V. His empire was built on trust, or so he claimed, but whispers in the arcade suggested otherwise. Victor was a man who guarded his secrets as fiercely as his vaults. It was on this crisp October evening in 1925, as the clock in the arcade's central fountain chimed 6, that Victor prepared for an event that would etch his name deeper into legend. He had acquired, at great expense, the Amberlight diamond, a flawless 42-carat stone, pale yellow as a summer dawn, cut in the shape of a perfect pear. They said it rivaled the Koh-i-Noor in brilliance, that it had once adorned the throat of a Mughal empress before vanishing into the chaos of the great game. Victor had outbid a Rothschild at Christie's auction, paying a sum that could buy a country estate. Tonight, he would unveil it to a select circle, whetting their appetites for private sales. The arcade was closing its doors to the public. Shopkeepers drew down iron shutters with a metallic clang, and the night watchman, old Tom Wilkins, began his rounds, his lantern swinging like a pendulum. Victor stood before his largest display case, adjusting the velvet cloth that shrouded the diamond. His reflection stared back, proud, unyielding. Tonight, he murmured to himself, they will see true genius. He glanced at the clock. 6:30. Time to summon his guests. First to arrive was Amelia Langford, Victor's wife of 20 years. The double doors swung open with a chime, and there she was, a vision in emerald silk that matched her eyes. At 42, Amelia retained the allure of her stage days. She had been a rising star in the West End, playing ingenues in Shaw's plays, before Victor swept her off her feet with a sapphire bracelet and promises of security. Her raven hair was pinned in a chignon, a single pearl earring dangling like a tear. She moved with the grace of a panther, her heels clicking softly on the marble. Victor, darling, she said, her voice a melodic lilt with just a hint of boredom. She air-kissed his cheeks, her perfume, Chanel No. 5, the latest sensation, enveloping him. This diamond of yours. It had better be worth the fuss. I've left a bridge game at the Dorchester. Victor smiled thinly. Patience, my dear. All in good time. Their marriage, once a blaze of passion, had cooled to embers. Society gossips tittered about Amelia's artistic friendships, particularly with one Julian Fairchild, a dashing painter, half her age, whose portraits hung in Mayfair galleries. Victor knew. He always knew. But divorce was unthinkable. Scandal would ruin them both. As Amelia settled into a velvet chaise, sipping sherry from a crystal glass that Elsie Wilkins had poured, the door chimed again. In bustled Reginald Thorne, Victor's business partner of 15 years. Portly and ruddy-faced, with a waistcoat straining at the buttons, Reginald was the numbers man, ledgers, invoices, the dull machinery behind Victor's sparkle. He carried a briefcase stuffed with papers and a flask of whiskey hidden in his coat. Victor, old boy, Reginald boomed, clapping him on the back, a touch too heartily. Heard about this rock of yours? 42 carats. Blimey, that's enough to sink a ship. His laugh was forced, his eyes darting to the shrouded case. Lately, tensions had simmered. Victor had noticed discrepancies in the books, thousands unaccounted for, funneled perhaps to Reginald's racing bets at Ascot. Shall we review the figures before your little show? Later, Reginald, Victor replied coolly, locking the front doors with a decisive click and pocketing the key. First, the spectacle. Clara Benson, the shop assistant, was already there, her slim figure bent over a display case, polishing a sapphire brooch with a chamois cloth. At 25, Clara was ambition personified, sharp-featured, with chestnut hair bobbed in the modern style, and eyes that missed no opportunity. She had come from a typing pool in the city, dreaming of her own boutique. Victor paid her modestly, praising her efficiency while denying raises. Resentment simmered beneath her polite smile. "Evening, Mr. Langford," she said, voice crisp. "Everything's pristine." "Good girl." Victor nodded, though his tone held a patronizing edge. Clara straightened, glancing at Amelia with a flicker of envy. That dress alone cost a year's wages. The door chimed once more, admitting Marcus Duval, the rival jeweler from across the arcade. Tall and lean, with a Gallic goatee and a beret perched jauntily, Marcus was French-born, his accent thick as cognac. He owned Duval Gems, a shop that specialized in Art Deco pieces, sleek, modern, a stark contrast to Victor's traditional grandeur. "Bonsoir, Victor," he said, his smile wolfish. "I could not resist your invitation. Though I hear this diamond is, how you say, suspect." Rumor had it Victor had stolen Marcus' design for a emerald brooch 2 years prior, undercutting him at a royal wedding sale and costing Marcus a small fortune. Lawsuits had flown like daggers, but Victor's connections prevailed. "Suspect." "Nonsense," Victor scoffed. "You will see for yourself, monsieur." Harold Langford slouched in next, Victor's nephew by his late brother. At 32, Harold was a wastrel, handsome in a dissipated way, with dark curls and a dissipated air from too many nights at the gaming tables. Debts hounded him like creditors at dawn. He was in Victor's will for a tidy sum, enough to clear his slate. "Uncle," he drawled, lighting a cigarette. "This better be quick. Got a spot of poker at the Reform Club." His eyes roved the cases hungrily, lingering on a gold watch chain. "Sit down, boy," Victor snapped, "and put that filthy thing out." Finally, Elsie Wilkins, no relation to the watchman, thank heavens, bustled from the back kitchen with a tray of sherry glasses and macarons from Fortnum's. At 40, she was dowdy and overlooked, her uniform starched, but her hands chapped from years of scrubbing. Victor's sharp tongue had worn her down. She endured snide remarks about her clumsy fingers while pocketing small grievances. "Refreshments, sir," she murmured, eyes downcast, her Cockney accent softened by long service. The group assembled in the main salon, a cozy nook with armchairs and a roaring fire in the marble hearth. The air hummed with anticipation and undercurrents of malice. Amelia chatted lightly with Harold about the latest Noel Coward review, her laughter tinkling like glass. Reginald poured himself a generous sherry, muttering to Clara about market fluctuations. Marcus examined a display necklace with feigned interest, his lips curled. Harold paced, checking his gold pocket watch. Elsie retreated to the shadows, tray in hand. Victor clapped his hands. "Mes amis, welcome to Langford's. Tonight, you witness history." He led them through the velvet curtain to his private office. It was a cramped space. A partner's desk of burled walnut, a single lamp with a green shade, shelves of ledgers, and gemology tomes. No windows, just the heavy oak door, which Victor closed behind them. With a deliberate scrape, he slid the iron bolt home. The key remained in his pocket. "Secure," he announced. "No interruptions." Under the lamp, he unveiled the Amberlight diamond. Gasps rippled through the room. It lay on black velvet, pulsing within a fire, a stone alive with legend. 42 carats, flawless, Victor proclaimed, priced at £50,000. Who among you will claim it? Amelia leaned close, her breath catching. Reginald whistled low. Clara's eyes widened with naked want. Marcus muttered, "Magnifique," or "forgery." Harold smirked, calculating inheritance. Elsie peeked from the doorway, forgotten. Conversation flowed. Amelia praising its romantic glow, Reginald probing its provenance, Clara asking technical questions to mask her awe. Marcus debated its cut with Victor, voices rising. Harold yawned theatrically. Tension simmered. A barbed remark from Victor about Reginald's creative accounting. A sly glance from Amelia toward the door, as if expecting Julian. Then, Victor held up a hand. I shall prepare it for full display, a special mounting. He pocketed the diamond in a leather case. Wait here. I shall be but a moment. He unbolted the door, stepped out alone, and with a final click, bolted it from inside. The group returned to the salon, chatter resuming. Sherry glasses clinked. The fire crackled. Outside, the arcade fell silent, save for old Tom's distant footsteps. Little did they know, in that locked sanctum, death was already sharpening its blade. Chapter 2. The Crime Discovered. The clock on the salon's mantelpiece ticked onward with relentless precision, its hands creeping toward 8 o'clock. In the warm glow of the fire, the assembled guests of Victor Langford settled into a fragile rhythm of conversation. The Amberlight diamonds, after image, still dancing in their minds like a hypnotic flame. Sherry glasses clinked softly against saucers, the air thick with the mingled scents of Macassar pomade, Chanel perfume, and the faint, nutty aroma of Fortnum's macarons. Outside, the Amberlight arcade lay hushed, its glass ceiling reflecting the first stars piercing the London fog. A world sealed away from the taxis honking on Regent Street and the distant call of newsboys hawking evening editions. Amelia Langford reclined on the velvet chaise, her emerald gown pooling around her like spilled ink. She toyed with a single pearl earring, her laughter light but edged, as she regaled Harold with tales of the latest Noel Coward review at the Aldwych. Oh, Harold, darling, you simply must see Private Lives. Elliot and Amanda, its divorce and desire wrapped in the wittiest dialogue. Makes one think of one's own arrangements. Her eyes flicked toward the velvet curtain that hid Victor's office, a subtle arch of her brow betraying boredom. Harold, slouched in an armchair with his legs crossed, puffed on a fresh cigarette despite his uncle's earlier rebuke. The smoke curled upward in lazy spirals. Sounds ripping, Aunt Amelia, but I've my own dramas at the tables. Lost a pony on Black Prince last week. Uncle's will can't come soon enough. His tone was jesting, but his fingers drummed the armrest, betraying nerves. Across the room, Reginald Thorne held court with Clara Benson near the display cases. The portly financier's waistcoat strained as he gestured expansively, his ruddy cheeks flushed from a second glass of sherry, spiked, no doubt, with a nip from his hidden flask. Markets booming? Clara, my dear. Shares in Marconi Wireless up 15%. But Victor, tight-fisted as ever, won't invest a penny. All hoarded in those vaults of his. Clara polished a silver tray with mechanical precision, her bobbed hair catching the firelight. At 25, she was all sharp angles and sharper ambition, her clerk's uniform a poor fit for her dreams. Indeed, Mr. Thorne, she replied crisply, her voice carrying a hint of the typing pools of the city. Mr. Langford prefers tangible assets. Like that diamond, 42 carats could fund a dozen boutiques. Her eyes lingered on a sapphire brooch in the case, the very one she'd borrowed last month to pawn for rent, replacing it with a flawed copy. Reginald leaned closer, his whisper conspiratorial. Tangible, eh? More like untouchable. I've seen the ledgers, girl. Discrepancies everywhere. If only. Marcus Duval prowled the edges of the salon Like a panther in a cage, his beret tilted at a defiant angle. The French jeweler paused before a display of Art Deco cufflinks, his long fingers tracing the glass. Zazzy English. He muttered to no one in particular, his accent rolling like the Seine. They cling to the old ways. My designs, sleek, modern. But Victor, he steals my emerald brooch sketch 2 years ago and sells it to the Duchess of York. Cost me 20 Zusan francs. His eyes narrowed at the shrouded case where the Amberlight diamond had rested moments before. Envy burned there, hot as a jeweler's torch. He swirled his sherry, untouched, and glanced at the clock. 7:45. Victor had been gone 15 minutes. Where is our host? Polishing his ego? Elsie Wilkins hovered in the periphery, her chapped hands refilling glasses with quiet efficiency. The maid's starched uniform rustled softly as she moved, her mousy hair tucked under a cap. Overlooked as always, she caught fragments of conversation. Amelia's flirtations, Reginald's grumbles, Marcus' curses. Victor's barbs echoed in her mind. Clumsy cow. Can't you dust properly? 5 years she'd endured, pocketing petty cash from the till to feed her ailing mother in Stepney. Tonight, as she poured for Harold, her hand trembled slightly, splashing a drop on his cuff. Sorry, sir, she mumbled, eyes downcast. Harold waved it off with a lazy grin. No harm, Elsie. Fetch me another, eh? The chatter flowed like the sherry, light at first, then laced with undercurrents. Amelia turned to Marcus. Tell us, Monsieur Duval, is the diamond truly flawless? Victor's prone to exaggeration. Marcus smirked. Flawless? Perhaps. But I detect imperfections. The cut is old-fashioned. My Parisian appraiser would laugh. Reginald chuckled. Hear that, Clara? Even the frogs doubt it. Clara smiled thinly, her mind elsewhere, on the wages Victor denied her. The boutique sign she'd sketched in her notebook, Benson's Gems. At 7:55, Amelia glanced at the curtain. Victor's taking his time. Perhaps he's composing a sonnet to his precious stone. Laughter rippled, but unease stirred. Harold stubbed out his cigarette. He'll knock. Uncle's probably napping over his ledgers. He rose, parting the velvet with a flourish. Uncle, the show's waiting. Silence. He knocked sharper. Victor. Nothing. Reginald joined him, his bulk filling the doorway. Let me try. He rapped firmly. Still no response. The group fell quiet. The fire's crackle suddenly loud. Clara frowned. Perhaps he stepped out the back. But the office had no other exit, just that bolted door. Marcus crossed to them. Open it, Zen. Reginald twisted the knob. Locked. Bolted from inside. Keys in his pocket, he said. Amelia's hand flew to her throat. Oh, darling, don't be dramatic. He's teasing us. But her voice wavered. Panic flickered. Harold pounded now. Uncle Victor, answer, damn you. Elsie wrung her apron. Shall I fetch the watchman, Mom? Amelia nodded briskly. Yes, Elsie, run. The maid scurried out the front doors, unlocked just for her, her footsteps echoing down the marble corridor. The arcade was a tomb, shops shuttered, gas lamps hissing softly. Old Tom Wilkins, the night watchman, shuffled from his booth near the fountain, lantern in hand. 65 and rheumatism-ridden, Tom was a fixture, scarred hands from 40 years on the docks, now swinging a rattle. What's the fuss, miss? Elsie gasped. Mr. Langford, locked in his office. Won't answer. Tom grumbled, grabbing his crowbar from the booth. Righty-ho, lead on. Back in the salon, tension coiled. Reginald mopped his brow. Probably a prank. Victor loves his theatrics. Marcus snorted. Or he has fled. Where's my diamond? Clara peered through the curtain's gap. The light's on. I see his shadow. Harold, impatient, rattled the knob. Amelia paced, her pearls clicking. Elsie burst in with Tom, crowbar gleaming. Stand back. The watchman shouldered through, inserting the bar into the door's seam. Wood groaned. Splinters flew. With a mighty heave, crack, the oak splintered, the bolt shearing. The door swung inward. The office lay revealed, a tableau of frozen horror. Victor Langford slumped over his burled walnut desk, face pressed to the green-shaded lamp, his waxed mustache askew. His blue eyes bulged in deathly surprise, skin tinged a ghastly cherry red. Beside his limp hand, a half-empty sherry glass, amber liquid pooling on scattered papers. The leather case with the Amberlight diamond sat untouched. The room pristine. No windows shattered, no signs of struggle. The heavy bolt lay broken on the floor, but its mate had been engaged from inside. Victor's pocket bulged with the key. Amelia screamed, a piercing theatrical wail. Victor! Oh God, no. She collapsed into Harold's arms, genuine tears streaking her makeup. Reginald gaped, flask tumbling from his pocket. Blimey. S. Clara retched into a wastebasket, hands shaking. Marcus crossed himself. Mon Dieu, poison. Elsie whimpered. I served the tray myself. Tom lowered his lantern, face ashen. Dead as a doornail. Best call the coppers. Chaos erupted. Harold steadied Amelia, bellowing, Someone! Telephone Scotland Yard! Reginald fumbled for the candlestick phone on the wall, dialing frantically. Tremendous. Homicide at Amberlight Arcade. Clara sank to a stool, whispering, How? The door was bolted. Marcus circled the body warily. Impossible. No one entered. Or left. Elsie clutched her crucifix, murmuring prayers. Minutes stretched like taffy. The group clustered in the salon, avoiding the officer's grim glow. Amelia sobbed artfully. He was fine, vibrant. That diamond was his life. Harold comforted her stiffly. There, aunt? Well sorted. Reginald paced, sweating. Who'll do this? Robbery? The diamond's still there. Marcus eyed it greedily. Yes. Still there. Clara wiped her mouth. Poison in the sherry. But I poured from the same decanter. Elsie nodded vigorously. Every glass, miss, I swear. Tom stationed himself at the door. No one leaves till the law says. Arcade sealed, only way in's the front. And I watched it. Indeed, the arcade's massive iron gates at either end were locked at closing, Tom's duty. No side doors, no fire escapes. Just the vaulted glass above, unreachable. At 8:27, sirens wailed. 2 constables burst in, burly and brusque, followed by the divisional surgeon, Dr. Hargreaves, a wiry man with spectacles and a black bag. Inspector James Japp of Scotland Yard arrived last, trenchcoat flapping, his famous bulldog face set in grim lines. Japp was Poirot's old ally, blunt, efficient, with a cigar perpetually clenched. Right, what's the rumpus? Langford, eh? Rich sort. He strode to the office, Hargreaves at his heels. The doctor knelt, probing Victor's neck. Rigor not set. Dead less than an hour. Cherry red flush, almond scent on breath. Cyanide. In the sherry glass, I'd wager. He sniffed the tumbler. Bitter almonds, clear as day. Lethal dose. Japp whistled. Poison? In a locked room? Blimey. He examined the door shards. Bolt from inside, key in pocket. No forced entry. Windows, none. Secret panel. Hargreaves shook his head. Solid as the Bank of England. I've treated Victor. Heart as strong as an ox. Suicide. Rubbish. Japp turned to the suspects. Notebook out. Names, alibis. Quick now. Amelia, composed now. Amelia Langford. Wife. I was here, chatting. Reginald. Reginald Thorne, partner. Poured drinks. Clara. Clara Benson, assistant. Polishing cases. Marcus. Marcus Duval, neighbor. Admiring displays. Harold. Harold Langford, nephew. Smoking. Elsie. Elsie Wilkins, maid, serving. Tom. Outside, rounds. Jap grunted. All together? No one slipped away? Murmurs of denial. Sherry from one decanter. Elsie. Yes, sir, clean bottle. Jap eyed the tray. 8 glasses, all half full, untouched by death. Only his poisoned. Delivered how? He pocketed the glass. Forensic cell sorted. No one leaves. Constables, guard the doors. The salon became a cage. Amelia dabbed tears. Who could hate him so? Reginald muttered. Plenty. Marcus smirked darkly. Clara stared at her hands. Harold lit another cigarette. Elsie prayed. Tom rattled his lantern. Jap paced, stumped. Locked room. Impossible crime. Need a brain for this. He snapped his fingers. Poirot. Ill ring the little Belgian. As the phone connected, fog thickened outside, and within, suspicion coiled tighter than the bolt that failed to save Victor Langford. Chapter 3. Investigation begins. The fog outside Amberlight Arcade had thickened to a pea souper by 8:30, muffling the wail of police sirens as they converged on the scene. Inside Langford's Jewels, the air hung heavy with the bitter tang of cyanide and the sharper sting of fear. Inspector James Jap paced the salon like a caged bear, his trench coat damp from the drizzle, cigar smoke wreathing his bulldog features. The suspects sat frozen in their velvet armchairs and chaises, Amelia dabbing at artful tears with a lace handkerchief, Reginald mopping his brow with a monogrammed kerchief, Clara twisting her apron into knots, Marcus swirling an untouched sherry with Gallic disdain, Harold puffing furiously on his 3rd cigarette, Elsie murmuring Ave Marias over her rosary, and old Tom Wilkins standing sentinel by the shattered office door, lantern dangling from his gnarled fist. 2 burly constables flanked the front entrance, their helmets gleaming under the chandelier, while Dr. Hargreaves packed his black bag, muttering about the devil's own chemistry. Jap snapped his pocket watch shut, frustration etching deeper lines on his face. Blast it all. Poison in a locked room, bolt from inside, key in pocket, no windows, no secret panels. Hargreaves swears the walls are solid as the tower. Suicide. Langford had the world by the tail. He glanced at the office, where Victor's corpse still slumped like a discarded marionette, the Amberlight diamond's leather case mocking them from the desk. And that rock's worth a king's ransom. Untouched. Not robbery. Murder, pure and simple. But how? Alibis overlap like a blooming crossword. Everyone together from 7:55 to 8:15. Reginald cleared his throat. Exactly, Inspector. We were chatting Coward and shares. No one near that door. Marcus leaned forward, eyes glinting. Except who poured? Is Sherry, eh? Elsie. The maid gasped, crossing herself. Not me, sir. Same decanter for all. Jap rubbed his chin, stubble rasping. 20 years on the force, from Whitechapel rippers to Mayfair poison pens, and this stumped him cold. Need a sieve for this mess. Someone with finesse. He snapped his fingers, striding to the candlestick phone on the wall. Operator. Whitechapel 4921. Quick. The line crackled to life. Poirot. Jap here. Got a locked room devil at Amberlight Arcade. Jeweler poisoned. Door bolted inside. Your specialty, old man. Bring your grey cells. Sharpish. A pause. Then Jap's grin widened. Splendid. 10 minutes. He hung up, turning to the group. Help's coming. Hercule Poirot, the little Belgian, solved the Abernathy case, Styles Manor, half of Belgium's riddles. If anyone can crack this, he can. Amelia arched a perfectly plucked brow. Poirot, the fussy foreigner from the papers? Harold snorted smoke, egghead with a mustache. Well, be here till Christmas, Clara whispered to Reginald. Heard he twirls that stash like a baton. Jap shot them a glare. Mock all you like. He's nabbed more killers than you've had hot dinners. Now shut it till he arrives. Constables, fingerprints on that glass, pronto. The minutes crawled. Outside, a taxi splashed through puddles, its horn muffled by fog. Inside, tension simmered. Marcus eyed the diamond case greedily. Elsie refilled glasses with trembling hands, avoiding Victor's office. Clara stared at her polished nails, chipped now from nerves. Reginald whispered to Harold if the books come out. We're both in the soup. Harold flicked ash. Keep mum. Uncle'll rot first. Amelia rose gracefully, gliding to the fire. This chill. Someone stoke it. Tom obliged, poker clanging. At 8:42 precisely, the front doors chimed. A soft, incongruous tinkling amid the grimness. In swept Hercule Poirot, a vision of meticulous elegance. At 5'4", he was a perfect oval. Egg-shaped head gleaming under a Homburg hat. Patent leather shoes mirroring the chandelier. A buttoned leather cane tapping rhythmically. His mustache, legendary, waxed to needle points, quivered with anticipation. A double-breasted suit of midnight blue hugged his rotund figure, a gold watch chain glinting across his waistcoat, and in his buttonhole, an immaculate orchid. Behind him trailed Captain Arthur Hastings, his faithful companion, tall, sporting, mustache of his own, but far less precise, carrying a briefcase and umbrella. Bonsoir, mon ami Jap. Poirot trilled, voice a melodic Belgian lilt, precise as a metronome. He removed his hat with a flourish, revealing a head polished to rival his shoes. You summon me from my comfortable dinner, coq au vin half eaten, and I come. For the locked room? Ah, the impossible crime. It sings to my little grey cells. Jap bumped his hand. Poirot, just in time. Victim, Victor Langford, 55, jeweler. Cyanide in sherry, 8:15. Door bolted inside, key in pocket. No exit. Poirot's eyes sparkled like the diamonds around them. Parfait. Show me at once. The salon stirred. Amelia murmured, charming but diminutive. Hastings blushed, tipping his hat. Mrs. Langford, Captain Hastings, at your service. Reginald boomed, welcome, monsieur. Sherry? Poirot waved it off. Non, non, a tisane, perhaps. But first, the body. Jap led them through the velvet curtain. Poirot paused at the threshold, nostrils flaring. The air, bitter almonds, oui. And something else. Macassar pomade, Chanel, number 5, tobacco. Excellent. He minced to the desk, cane tapping. Victor's face loomed, purpled lips, bulging eyes frozen in shock. Poirot leaned close, not touching, inhaling. Cyanide, swift. Death in seconds. The glass. He examined it from afar. Half full, amber residue, faint smudge on rim. One sip, perhaps two. The diamond case, untouched. Motive, not theft. His gloved finger traced the air above the bolt shards. Broken forcibly, but engaged from inside. How convenient. Hastings peered over. No struggle, eh? Desk tidy. Poirot nodded. Precisement. He sat, sipped, died. Now the room. He circled. Walls papered in damask. Solid to wrap. Floor Persian rug. No scuffs. Ceiling plaster. Intact. No windows, no chimney. The door. Ah. He inspected the oak splinters. Heavy bolt. Iron. Slid home thus. He mimed the motion. Key in pocket. See? Jap fished it out. Ornate brass. Single. Front door key too? Poirot queried. Jap nodded. Same man locked the arcade at 6. Poirot straightened, mustache a quiver. Impossible. No. Merely ingenious. But first, interviews. In order of arrival, s'il vous plaît. Jap bellowed. Line up. Poirot's turn. First, Amelia. Poirot bowed low. Madame Langford, my deepest sympathies. You arrive 6:30, oui? With the grace of a gobbo. She fluttered lashes. Thank you, monsieur. Victor locked us in at 7:00. I chatted with Harold. Private lives. Poirot's eyes twinkled. Ah, divorce and desire. And your hearing? One only? The mate? Amelia touched her lobe. Lost weeks ago. Careless me. Note. Pearl. Single. Motive? Poirot purred. She stiffened. None. Though Victor was distant. Hastings whispered later. Affair rumors. Poirot. Reginald next, sweating. Partner 15 years. Finances. I poured drinks at 7:45. Back to chat Marconi shares with Clara. Poirot sniffed his flask. Whiskey excellent. Smoke break, brief, 7:50, outside salon. Lie. Poirot noted ruddy cheeks, shaky hands. Discrepancies in ledgers? Reginald paled. Business as usual. Clara, crisp. Assistant 2 years. Polished cases, 7 to 8, Sacon. Heard nothing. Poirot eyed her nails. Chamois residue. Ambitious, mademoiselle. A boutique? She flushed. One day. Wages tight. A sapphire brooch in case. Slightly off color. Fake? Marcus, sneering. Rival. Arrived 6:45. Admired displays. Victor stole my design. Poirot admired his beret. Art Deco. Modern. You argue cut of diamond. Old-fashioned. Thread on cuff. Curious. Harold, drawling. Nephew. Smoked, checked watch. Poker at 9. Poirot examined his pocket watch. Stopped at 8:15. Exact. And debts. Exaggerated. Ash on boots. Fresh. Elsie, tearful. Maid 5 years. Served tray 7:30. All same decanter. Poirot patted her hand. Brave fille. Victor. Sharp-tongued? She nodded. Called me clumsy. Tom. Watchman. Rounds 7 to 18 hours. Saw no one enter arcade. Poirot reconvened in salon, pacing delicately. Ah, mes amis. The order. Victor bolts door 7 so he shows diamond. Unbolts 7:55. Enters alone. Rebolts. You wait. At 8:15, death. Alibis. All together. But he tapped cane. Reginald's smoke. 5 minutes? Harold's watch. Stopped. Why? Amelia's earring missing. Clara's brooch flawed. Marcus's thread. Elsie's tremble. Tom's rounds. Gap? Jap grinned. Grey cells firing. Poirot smiled. But one clue sings. The glass smudge. Left thumb Victor's. He poured himself. None. Delivered poisoned. Hastings. Thread trick. Poirot wagged finger. Patience, mon capitaine. He addressed group. No one leaves till morning. Constables. Search pockets. Yield. Reginald's flask clean. Harold's IOUs. Clara's pawn ticket brooch. Marcus's lawsuit papers. Amelia's lipstick strawberry. Sherry match. Elsie. Petty cash. 5 shillings short. Fog-pressed windows. Poirot sipped tisane. Elsie brewed. The method hides in plain sight. But motives. Ah. Amelia. Cold marriage. Lover Julian Fairchild. Painter. Uninvited. Reginald. Embezzlement. 5,000 missing. Clara. Theft. Resentment. Marcus. Rivalry. Lawsuit. Harold. Debts. Inheritance. Elsie. Abuse. Poverty. Gasps rippled. Amelia. Lies. Reginald. Slander. But Poirot's eyes bored like diamonds. Truth hurts, no? Tomorrow we reenact. Sleep, if you can. Clock struck 9. Arcade sealed. Suspects to cots in back room. Poirot and Hastings in salon. Classic Whodunit. Hastings. 6 suspects. Locked room. The devil's in details. Outside, fog swallowed London. Inside, Poirot twirled mustache. Grey cells whirring. The game had begun. Chapter 4. Clues and red herrings. The gas lamps of Amberlight Arcade burned low through the witching hours of October 10th, 1925, casting elongated shadows that danced like specters across the marble floors. Inside Langford's Jewels, the salon had transformed into a makeshift warren of suspicion. Velvet chaises dragged into a circle. Makeshift cots of blankets and cushions strewn about the back room for the suspect's reluctant slumber. The air was thick with the ghosts of perfume, tobacco, and that infernal almond tang seeping from Victor's office. Outside, the pea-soup of fog muffled Big Ben's distant chimes, 10 o'clock, then 11, while Inspector Japp snored in an armchair, his cigar ash dusting his waistcoat. Captain Hastings dozed fitfully by the fire, umbrella clutched like a talisman. But Hercule Poirot, Poirot was a whirlwind of wakefulness, his egg-shaped head gleaming under the chandelier as he paced with delicate precision, cane tapping a Morse code of deduction. Mon Dieu, Hastings, he trilled at midnight, rousing his friend with a gentle shake. Sleep is for the innocent. We have work, the method, the motive, the madness. Hastings blinked, rubbing his eyes. Eh, what's brewing, Poirot? The Belgian's moustache quivered like a divining rod. Everything, mon capitaine. Come, let us examine once more. He minced to the shattered office door, where constables had propped it askew. Poirot knelt, impeccably, without creasing his suit, and retrieved a speck from the carpet with his gloved pinky. Regardez, a single horsehair, coarse, black. From whose mount? Or a clue. Hastings peered. Horsehair. Blimey. Could be from a whip. Harold's a racing man. Poirot pocketed it, eyes twinkling. Or red herring none? But wait, see here. On the desk, amid scattered papers, lay Victor's gold pocket watch. Stopped at precisely 8:15. Its crystal cracked, as if dropped. He falls. It stops. Exact time of death. But why not ticking now? Hastings frowned. Rigor? No, tampered. Poirot nodded slyly. Précisément. Someone reset it later. Who had opportunity? Their whispers stirred the salon. Amelia stirred on her chaise, pearl earring glinting in the lamplight. Still just the one. Monsieur Poirot? Can't a lady rest? He bowed. Pardonnez-moi, madame. But your earring? Lost when? During the excitement. She yawned artfully. Weeks ago, at the theatre. With Julian. Hastings noted. Fairchild? Painter? Jealous type? Reginald crumbled from his cot, flask glinting. Bloody Belgians and their questions. But Poirot's ear caught a rustle. Clara, slipping from her blanket to the display. Cases. Mademoiselle Benson, polishing at this hour? She froze, chamois in hand. Nerves, sir. Can't sleep. Poirot's gaze fell on the sapphire brooch. Her flawed copy now gleamed too brightly under inspection. Ah, but this brooch. Its color deepens. Fresh polish. Or replacement? Clara paled. I dusted it earlier. Dawn crept in at 600 a.m., fog lifting like a reluctant curtain. Jap awoke with a snort. Right. Reenactment, as you said, Poirot, the inspector bellowed, rousing the suspects like reluctant schoolboys. Breakfast was Elsie's tepid tea and stale macarons, eaten under constable watch. Marcus arrived disheveled, beret askew. This is outrage. I demand my embassy. Harold yawned, lighting a cigarette. Pass the sugar, aunt, before we all poison each other. Amelia shuddered theatrically. Harold, darling. Elsie served silently, her rosary beads clicking. Poirot clapped. Mes amis. We recreate, exactly. Positions. At 7 out of prompt, he locked the front door's spare key from Jap, pocketing it. Victor shows diamond. He mimed unveiling the leather case on a side table. Gasps echoed the night before. Now, 7:55, he unbolts office, enters alone, rebolts. Poirot stepped behind the curtain, sliding a spare bolt fetched from hardware. Click. You wait. The group milled. Amelia on chaise, with Harold chatting coward. Reginald pouring sherry with Clara Marconi shares. Marcus admiring cufflinks. Elsie serving. Tom on rounds, pacing outside. At 8:15, Poirot flung open the door dramatically. Et voilà, I live. Laughter, tense. But his eyes scanned. During wait, Harold had slipped to check his own watch. Identical to Victor's, but ticking. Reginald's pour took 7 minutes, not 5. Clara polished the wrong case. Marcus cuff. Horsehair gone. Amelia fanned herself, earring swinging. Alibis fracture, Poirot announced. But clues multiply. First, the smudged glass. A constable presented it, bagged. Poirot sniffed. Left thumb. Victor's. He held it so. He mimed sipping. But poison added. Post-pour. How? Ah, look. From the tray, 8 glasses, identical. But Victor's had a faint strawberry lip mark. Madame's lipstick. You kissed him goodnight? Amelia flushed crimson. Never. I haven't worn strawberry since Ascot. Red herring? Or clue? Jap grunted. Forensics back. Cyanide crystals and glass rim. Dissolved fast. Poirot beamed. Delivered via pipette? No, simpler. He examined the sherry decanter. Clean. Elsie poured all at 7:30. Victor's glass sat empty till Reginald. He poured himself at 7:50 before entering. Lie, all recalled. Elsie filled all glasses full. Next clue. A forged note slipped under the curtain at 8:10, discovered now. Victor, meet me back room. Urgent. JJ for Julian. Amelia gasped. My painter. But he wasn't here. Hastings. Uninvited. Slipped in. Tom swore. Saw no stranger. Red herring supreme. Note in Julian's scrawl, but paper from Langford's ledger. Inside job. Complications swirled. Marcus crowed. Z horsehair from my riding crop. I rode from Paris yesterday. But Poirot found thread on his cuff. Silk, not hair. Your beret sheds, monsieur. Marcus sputtered. Harold's watch? Dropped mine last night. Cracked same. But crystal edges fresh filed. Clara's brooch. Pawned for rent. Replaced with paste. Victor knew. Threatened sack. Confession. Motive sharpens. Mid-morning. A telegram. Fairchild denies note. Alibi. Painting at Dorchester till 10. Red herring sinks. But another rises. A mysterious stranger glimpsed by Tom at 7:45. Tall chap. Homburg. Lingered by fountain. Description. Julian. No. Matched Reginald's brother. Deceased. False lead. Poirot interviewed deeper. Salon buzzing. Amelia. Tearful. Victor and I. Distant. But murder? He'd never. Clue. Her glove pocket yielded a tiny vial. Perfume. Sniff. Almonds. La Chanel. Essence d'Amande. Innocent. Reginald. Sweating. Ledgers clean. Smoke break. 4 minutes exact. But ash on his boot. Office carpet match. You entered. Denial. Clara. Stole once. Regret. But poison? I'd lose my chance. Her notebook. Sketches of Amberlight diamond. Exact facets. Spy. Marcus. Lawsuit tomorrow. Ruin. But cyanide. Too crude for moi. His toolkit. Pipette for gems. Empty vial. For cleaning stones. Harold. Debt's 10,000. Inheritance saves me. But uncle doted. IOUs. To Marcus's casino. Alliance. Elsie. He called me cow daily. Took my savings once. Her apron. Pocket knife. Sherry stained. For fruit. By noon, Poirot paced triumphantly. Clues. Horsehair Marcus crop. Red herring. Stopped watch. Harold planted. Filed. Missing earring. Amelia's. Fell in struggle? No. Theatre ticket stub inside. Smudged glass strawberry. Not lipstick. Cordial splash. Forged note Julian bait. Thread doorbell trick. Brooch. Clara's theft. Pipette. Marcus innocent. Knife Elsie peeled apples. Motives crystallize. Amelia. Freedom. Lover. Reginald. Embezzle $5,000. Clara. Theft grudge. Marcus. Rivalry. Harold. Debts. Elsie. Abuse. Jap whistled. Bloody web. Suspects paled. Amelia. Monstrous. Reginald. Prove it. But Poirot smiled serenely. Patience. One clue sings above. The bolt. See. Tiny groove. Thread scar. He held Marcus' cuff thread to light. Silk. Fine. Pulled from outside after poisoning. Gasps. Harold bolted for door. Constable tackled him. Easy, lad. Clara whimpered. Marcus smirked. See nephew. But Poirot wagged finger. No. Thread from beret. But whose hand? Lunch. Cold cuts. Tension. Afternoon. Searches. Amelia's purse. Love letters. Julian's. Reginald's briefcase. Falsified ledgers. Clara's. Pawn receipts. Marcus. Lawsuit draft. Harold. Marked cards. Elsie. Victor's old love token. Stolen. At Forchery, Poirot sipped tisane. Red herrings abound. Julian, stranger. Perfume vial. To distract from method. Poison in glass. Delivered 7:55 via. Ah, he seized Elsie's tray. Underside, tiny hook. Thread here. Lowered glass out keyhole. Poisoned. Reeled back. Elsie screamed. Not me. But thread matched her apron stitching. Red herring or truth. Sun dipped. Fog returning. Poirot addressed them. Tomorrow, twists deepen. Sleep lightly. Killer watches. Suspects to cots, whispering. Hastings. Who, Poirot? All possible. But grey cells? No. The earring mate hides in the diamond case. Proof. Clock struck 5. Clues piled like gems. Herrings wriggled free. The arcade pulsed with peril. Chapter 5. Complications and Twists. As the autumn sun dipped below London's sooty skyline on that fateful October 10th, 1925, Amberlight Arcade transformed from elegant haven to gilded prison. By 5:15 p.m., the salon of Langford's Jewels resembled a battlefield strewn with the debris of shattered alibis, crumpled telegrams, bagged clues glinting under the chandelier, and the suspects slumped in velvet defeat. Amelia fanning herself with a lace handkerchief, Reginald nursing his flask like a lifeline, Clara twisting her bobbed hair into nervous knots, Marcus pacing with Gallic fury, Harold chain-smoking through his 5th cigarette, Elsie clutching her rosary like a shield, and old Tom Wilkins rattling his lantern in the corner like a nervous tick. Inspector Japp chewed his unlit cigar, frustration carving canyons in his bulldog jowls, while Captain Hastings scribbled furiously in his notebook, umbrella propped like a sentinel. But Hercule Poirot. Oh, Poirot was a portrait of serene ecstasy, perched on a chaise with his egg-shaped head tilted, moustache a-quiver, cane tapping a triumphant rhythm as if conducting an invisible orchestra of deduction. Eh bien, mes amis, he trilled at precisely 5:30, rising with the precision of a Swiss clock. The clues accumulate like diamonds in a mine: horsehair thread, forged note, stopped watch, strawberry smudge, missing earring. But now, complications, twists, the little grey cells dance. He flourished a gloved hand toward Elsie's tray, its underside hook gleaming accusingly. This, your secret weapon, non. Thread from apron, lowered through keyhole, poison glass delivered. Simple, ingenious. Elsie burst into sobs, apron crumpling. Not me, sir. I peeled apples. Hook for fruit. Victor called me clumsy, but murder, never. The maid collapsed into Clara's arms, who patted stiffly, her own eyes darting to the sapphire brooch case, now conspicuously empty. Gasps rippled. Amelia's pearl earring swung wildly. Elsie, the poor dear, preposterous. Reginald spotted whiskey. Bloody maid, frame job. Marcus crowed, parade tipping. Z-servant, classic. But wait, my thread matches too. Harold stubbed his cigarette viciously. Rubbish. She's covering for... But Japp bellowed. Quiet, Poirot, prove it. The Belgian smiled serenely, mincing to the office. Observe. He threaded silk from Elsie's apron through the keyhole door, repaired hastily by constables, lowering a mock glass. Clink. Poison added outside, reeled in. Victor sips at 8 hoicht, dead by 8:15. Buffer. But he yanked the thread, snapped clean, too thick. Apron cotton, non-silk, red herring. The real thread, finer. From whence? Pandemonium erupted. Harold bolted, upright. Him out, poker calls. He lunged for the front doors. Thud, Constable's truncheon blocked him. Sit, lad, Clara whimpered. Let me go, sir. My mother's ill. Marcus hurled his beret. Embassy, now! Amelia swooned dramatically onto the chaise. This heat. Oxygen. Reginald mopped sweat. Ledgers. My reputation. Elsie prayed louder. Tom rattled. Arcade's mine? Clear me. Japp roared. All stay. Scotland Yard. Seal still dawn, but true complications struck at 6 to 1 sharp. A constable burst in, breathless, helmet askew. Inspector, another crime, theft. Divulged gems across arcade, robbed blind. Emerald brooch gone. The royal one Victor stole design for. Marcus howled, face purple. Mon Dieu. My lawsuit evidence, stolen. Victor's ghost avenges. He stormed out, constables trailing, returning minutes later with shattered display case. Gone. At 5:45, while we argued. Poirot's eyes sparkled. Ah, opportunist strikes amid chaos. Inside job? Or he examined shards. Clean cut, no force. Diamond wire, jeweler's tool. Marcus' own kit? The Frenchman sputtered. They frame me. I was there. Hastings gasped. 2 crimes in one night? Linked? Poirot nodded slyly. Certainment. Distraction? While we chase thread, thief acts. Suspects bailed. Clara's hand flew to mouth. Not me. I pawned Victor's, not Marcus. Confession deepened. Tears now. Reginald whispered to Harold. Our ledgers. Next target? The nephew nodded, eyes wild. Twist number 2 crashed at 6:45. A telegram boy, soaked in fog, hammered the gates. Jap snatched the wire. Fairchild arrested Dorchester brawl. Confesses affair. Denies murder. Alibi ironclad. Witnesses galore. P.S. Saw stranger leave arcade. 7:40. Tall, scar. Homburg. Amelia crumpled. Julian innocent. But the note? Poirot held the forged paper aloft. J for Julian. Bait. Ink matches Langford's desk. Who penned? Eyes swiveled. Harold's fountain pen. Ink-stained cuff. Poker notes. Uncle. Lie. He squirmed. Complications mounted like storm clouds. At 7:15, Dr. Hargreaves returned. Black bag clinking. Autopsy rush. Cyanide confirmed, but twist. Trace ricin in stomach. Double poison. Slow from dinner. Cyanide coup de grace. Jap whistled. 2 killers or 1 clever? Poirot beamed. 1. Ricin in macarons. Elsie stray. Slow death bait. Cyanide finishes. Elsie wailed. Fortnum sealed box. I swear, but box empty. Tampered. Clara confessed. I dusted tray. Saw powder. Finger points inward. By 8:02, a suspect fled. Harold. During lavatory break, slipped constables. Vaulted arcade fountain. Dashed for Oxford Street. Sirens wailed. Jap pursued, tackling him in fog amid newsboys. Gotcha, rat. Back in irons, Harold spat. Debts choke me. Inheritance gone now. But twist. His pocket yielded Marcus Emerald brooch, stolen minutes ago. Planted. The nephew roared. Marcus lunged. Fist fight. Constables separated. Berets flying. Poirot calmed the melee. Con raised. Assay. Twists reveal alliances. He paced, voice rising. First. Theft links. Marcus Harold. Casino debts. Shared IOUs. Harold steals brooch for Marcus. Repays loan. Proof. Matching fingerprints on wire cutter. Marcus. Lies. He begged help. Harold. You supplied tool. Second. Double poison. Reginald Clara. Packed. Ricin from your lab flask. Embezzlement cover. Clara dusts macarons for wage rice promise. Reginald blanched. Never. But flask traces ricin. Lab grade. Clara sobbed. He threatened sack. Forced me. Third. Note and earring. Amelia Elsie. Lover's freedom. Maid's revenge. Earring made in your reticule. Lost to fake struggle. Amelia shrieked. Dumping purse. Pearl tumbled out. Planted by you. Elsie. No, she promised me wages. Jap gaped. Triad of plots. Bloody chaos. Hastings. All guilty. Poirot wagged finger. None. One puppet master orchestrates. But who? Thread source. Amelia's Chanel sachet. Silk ribbon. Lowered glass during swoon. 7:58. Eyes closed. Hand sly. Amelia fainted again. Real this time. Doctor revived. Heart palpitations. Innocent. Red herring. Poirot sighed. Another twist. Ribbon too short. Real thread from Harold's watch fob chain. Silk-wrapped metal. Pulled bolt after poisoning via keyhole groove. Harold lunged anew. subdued. Prove it. Poirot produced fob. Frayed silk end matches, groove scar. Cheers from Jap. But final twist at 9:30, a phone call. Tom Wilkins arrested Stepney, Elsie's brother, gambler, scarred face, stranger at 7:40. Tom confessed, covered for him, let in back gate. Elsie collapsed. My kin, murderer, fog-choked windows, suspects shattered, alliances exposed, alibis, ash. Amelia, Julian safe, me free? Reginald, ledgers burn. Clara, boutique dream dead. Marcus, brooch back, lawsuit. Harold, gallows. Elsie, family ruined. Tom, 40 years loyal, gone. Poirot addressed the wreckage at 10 Howloo. Complications clarify. One killer used all, alliances as tools. Method, thread from fob, poison via glass reel. Motive, the diamond, switched with paste during chaos. Real one, in Elsie's rosary beads, hollow, weighted. He cracked one. Yellow gleam. Elsie screamed, no. Tom hid for me. Poverty. Gasps peaked. Jap, maid and watchman, double cross. Poirot smiled sadly. None. Red herring finale. Beat solid. Test tomorrow. True switch. Reginald's flask bottom. False compartment. Diamond there now. Reginald bolted. Caught. Damn you, Belgian. Confession bubbled. All me. Embezzled. Stole diamond. Poison to frame Harold. Inherits nothing. But Poirot halted. Wait, one more twist. Voice outside. 8:10. Victor, urgent. Not note. Live. Killer entered before bolt. Hidden in desk. Salon froze. Clock struck 11. Twists coiled endless. Alliances fractured. Crimes layered. Escape foiled. Arcade pulsed peril. Killer cornered. Chapter 6. The Revelation. The great clock in Amberlight arcades. Central fountain told 11 somber strokes. Its chimes reverberating through the sealed glass vault like the tolling of Judgment Day. Inside Langford's jewels, the salon lay in ruins of revelation. Overturned chaises, scattered telegrams fluttering like dying moths, the air electric with gasps and glares. The suspects huddled in a ragged semicircle, Amelia pale as porcelain, clutching her retrieved pearl-earring mate. Reginald slumped, flask dangling empty from trembling fingers, Clara sobbing into her chamois cloth. Marcus frozen mid-pace, beret crushed in his fist, Harold in irons, cigarette smoldering between cuffed wrists, Elsie on her knees, rosary beads scattered like fallen stars. And old Tom Wilkins slumped against the wall, lantern extinguished, face etched with betrayal. Inspector Jap stood sentinel by the office door, truncheon at ready, his bulldog jowls set firm. Captain Hastings gripped his notebook, pen poised, eyes wide as saucers. But at the center of this tempest, Hercule Poirot reigned supreme. A diminutive maestro in midnight blue, egg-shaped head aglow under the chandelier, mustache waxed to triumphant points, cane planted like Excalibur as he surveyed his fractured kingdom. Mes amis, Poirot began, his Belgian lilt soft, yet slicing through the chaos like a diamond cutter. The hour of truth arrives. No more twists, no more red herrings wriggling free. The little grey cells have assembled every shard. The horsehair, the thread, the forged note, the stopped watch, the strawberry smudge, the missing earring, the double poison, the stolen brooch, the fleeing nephew, the hidden diamond. Complications? Bah, merely the smoke before the mirror. Tonight I reveal all. But first, he clapped gloved hands sharply. To your positions, as in the salon at 7:55, exactement. We reenact the final time with eyes wide open. Murmurs of protest rose, but Jap's bellow quelled them. Move. Constables herded like sheepdogs. Amelia to the chaise, fanning dramatically. Reginald to the sherry tray, flask hidden. Clara to the display cases, polishing phantom dust. Marcus to the cufflinks, sneering. Harold to his armchair, wrists chained. Elsie to the kitchen door, tray trembling, Tom to the front, lantern relit. Poirot took center stage, velvet curtain parted like a theatre drape. The scene, Victor unbolts office, bids you wait, enters alone. Click. Bolt slides home. You converse. But watch. He minced behind the curtain, miming Victor's steps. Desk, chair, pour sherry. From Elsie's tray, mock glass, safe. He sits, sips. But wait. Who poisoned this glass? Poirot paused, eyes sweeping. Not Elsie. Her hook too crude. Not the decanter, clean. Ah, the glass itself. Treated before 7:30 pour. Cyanide crystals, invisible, dissolve in sip. Ricin? In macarons at 6:45. Welcome. Slow torture to mask swift end. Gasps crescendoed. Reginald spluttered. Impossible. All eight. Lived. Poirot whirled, cane flashing. Précisément. All except Victor. Indisposed, skipped macarons. Allergy, he claimed. Lie. You knew Reginald? Pushed the tray to him later. No. Observe. He seized a macaron from the stale tray, cracked it open. Hollow. Powder inside, one only. Victor's portion, by whom placed. Suspects shifted. Clara whimpered. Not me, I dusted. Marcus. That brooch thief. Harold snarled. You frog. Poirot raised a hand, silencing. Patience. The method unfolds step by step, logical as Euclid. First, ricin procured. From where? Reginald's lab flask, embezzler's den, Stepney warehouse. Traces match. But who fetched? Ah, Harold. Your IOUs to Stepney bookies, signed there last week. Alliance born. Nephew steals poison for uncles. Silence on debts. Harold lunged, chains rattled. Lies, prove. Poirot produced IOU, paid in full. R.T. Reginald's initials, confession in ink. Jap whistled. Double team. But wait, Poirot continued, pacing delicately. Macaron placed at 6:30. By whom? Elsie serves welcome tray. Innocent. But Clara polishes before arrival. Swaps hollow one from her pocket. Motive. Victor's wage denial. Plus, he caught your brooch theft yesterday. Sacked tomorrow, he whispered. Clara. Poison for job security. Reginald's promise of boutique funds from embezzled $5,000. Clara collapsed, sobbing. He threatened, Reginald said. Dust this. Problem solved. I didn't know ricin. Amelia gasped. My maid of all work? No. Poirot spun to her. You, madame, knew. Your lipstick note to Julian. Ricin tonight. Freedom. Found in reticule. Affair confirmed. But you added earring to tray. Struggle red herring. Why? Cover for your part. Forged note J for Julian. To lure Victor open door early. Amelia swooned, caught by Hastings. Monstrous. Julian innocent. We, red herring supreme. But your strawberry cordial splash on glass. To mimic lipstick smudge. Woman's touch distraction. Marcus crowed. Wife. Affair killer. Non, monsieur. Poirot's cane tapped his beret. You supplied thread. Silk from your Art Deco sachet. Fine, invisible. During 7:45 admiration, you treated glasses with pipette from kit, cyanide crystals, gem cleaner guys. Motive, stolen brooch design, lawsuit tomorrow, ruin. But twist, you allied with Harold for emerald theft distraction. His flight, to plant brooch on you? Marcus paled, beret falling. Zut, he begged casino debt wipe. Gave me tool. Harold roared. Frog betrayed me. Exactament. Poirot beamed. Alliances. Reginald Clara embezzle. Poison. Amelia Harold affair. Inheritance. Marcus Harold. Debts. Theft. Tom. Covered Elsie's brother. Scarred stranger. Slipped rice and vial at 7:40. But Elsie. Innocent. Abused. Yes. But her knife peeled apples only. Rosary. Solid faith. No diamond. Elsie wept joy. Bless you, sir. Jap gaped. Six-way web. One puppet master. Poirot's eyes bored into the circle, voice dropping to velvet thunder. None. One conductor. Reginald Thorne. See the logic. He flourished briefcase, opened to ledgers. Exhibit A, 5,000 gone. Not bets. Diamond by cover. Victor discovered. Confronted 750. You poured his sherry. New poison plan. Step 1. Bribe Clara Boutique. Step 2. Promise Amelia divorce papers. Post-death. Step 3. Harold's inheritance cut. Frame him with debts. Step 4. Marcus's lawsuit quashed. Brooch returned. Step 5. Tom paid. Watchman bonus. All threads from your silk handkerchief. Frayed end in bolt groove. Reginald rose. Face ashen. Clever. Too clever. Flask slipped. Clink. Bottom unscrewed. Yellow gleam. The Amberlight diamond. Hidden there all night. Gasps deafened. Jap bounced, wrenching it free. Gotcha. But how locked room? Hastings breathed. Poirot smiled serenely. Simplicity. 7:55. Victor enters office alone. You hide in alcove behind curtain, Reginald. Wait till he bolts door. Whisper through keyhole. Victor, urgent. Jap here. He unbolts partly. You slip in, stab rice and macaron on desk he eats. Slow. Pour cyanide-treated sherry from hidden vial. He sips, convulses. You exit. Thread pulls. Bolt shut via groove. Reset watch to 8:15. Plant earring. Note. Out alcove during knock chaos. You broke door later. Staged. Reginald laughed bitterly. Brilliant. Grey cells indeed. He slumped, defeated. Victor found ledgers. Threatened ruin. All for empire. Gone. Amelia wailed, you promised freedom. Clara. My boutique. Marcus. Lawsuit. Harold. Inheritance. Tom. Bonus. Elsie. Silent relief. Poirot bowed to each. Accessories. Accomplices. But killer? Reginald Thorne. Motive. Creed. Method. Thread. Poison. Guile. Opportunity. Partner trust. Jap clapped irons on Reginald. Scotland Yard? Thanks you, Poirot. Clean sweep. Constables led sobbing allies away. Salon emptied. Peace at last. Hastings. Magnificent. How new? Poirot sipped tisane, mustache dipping. The horsehair. From Tom's lantern wick. Red herring. Earring mate? In Amelia's sachet? Careless. But singing clue? Reginald's smoke break. Ash inside office carpet. He entered first. Fog lifted outside. Dawn's light pierced glass ceiling. Amber reborn. Victor's body covered respectfully. Diamonds secured. Poirot gazed at empty salon. Another order from chaos. Hastings. Coq au vin awaits. Chapter 7. Justice served. The first tentative rays of October 11th, 1925, pierced the vaulted glass ceiling of Amberlight Arcade like golden arrows from Apollo's bow, banishing the night's pea-soup fog to the Thames' murky embrace. Inside Langford's Jewels, the salon, once a battlefield of betrayal, breathed anew. Overturned chaises righted by efficient constables, scattered telegrams swept into evidence bags, the bitter almond tang aired out through propped-open doors. The Amberlight diamond, that fateful 42-carat temptress, now sparkled safely in Inspector Japp's inner pocket, its leather case zipped tight beside his warrant card. Victor Langford's body had been respectfully covered with a velvet shroud and wheeled away at dawn by the mortuary van, its bell tolling softly down Regent Street. The suspects, or what remained of their glittering facades, sat subdued in a neat row of armchairs, Amelia dabbing dry eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief, Reginald in irons at the center, flask confiscated and glinting accusingly on the mantel, Clara twisting her chamois cloth into a hopeless knot, Marcus nursing a bruised ego and beret, Harold slouched in cuffs, cigarette privileges revoked, Elsie clutching her intact rosary with trembling gratitude, and old Tom Wilkins, lantern dimmed, head bowed in shame. Captain Hastings stood by the fire, notebook closed at last, a boyish grin splitting his moustache. Inspector Japp paced with satisfied grunts, truncheon tucked away. But Hercule Poirot, Poirot, was the picture of reposed perfection, perched on the central chaise with legs crossed, egg-shaped head tilted serenely, moustache drooping just so over a steaming cup of Elsie's freshly brewed tisane. Double bergamot, no sugar. Eh bien, mes amis, Poirot began, his Belgian lilt warm as sunlit velvet, setting down his cup with a delicate clink. The storm has passed. The little grey cells have triumphed, as always. Reginald Thorne, master puppeteer of greed, stands exposed. But justice? She is not vengeance. She is balance, order restored. We proceed now with clarity, compassion where due, and the full weight of the law where earned. Inspector, if you please, the formalities. Japp cleared his throat, flipping open his notebook with a flourish that echoed through the hushed salon. Right ho, Poirot. Scotland Yard, New Scotland Yard Division, October 11th, 1925. Case: Murder of Victor Langford, cyanide and ricin poisoning, locked room method via thread and guile. Primary perpetrator: Reginald Thorne, 58, business partner. Charges: murder in the first degree, conspiracy to commit theft, embezzlement of $5,000, falsification of ledgers. He fixed Reginald with a steely glare, the financier's ruddy cheeks now pallid as chalk. Thorne, you admit all? For the record. Reginald slumped deeper, chains rattling softly, a defeated bull. His voice, once booming, croaked like a broken phonograph. Aye, Inspector, all of it. Victor found the ledgers yesterday morn, $5,000 siphoned for Ascot bets, not diamond buy. Ruin you at dawn, he said. Panic, alliances. Clara for the rice and macaron, Amelia for the note, Harold for the brooch lift, Marcus for thread, Tom for entry. Greed blinded me. Empire. Dust. A single tear traced his jowl. Japp nodded curtly. Confession noted. Sentence: hanging at Wandsworth. Come the assizes. No mercy for poisoners. Gasps rippled. Clara whimpered. Amelia turned away. But Poirot raised a gentle hand. Moment, mon ami. Reginald, your motive, I comprehend. The pressure of empire, the whisper of loss. But remember, Victor was harsh, yes, but redeemable. Your flask, return it? He nodded to a constable, who handed it over. Reginald clutched it like absolution, unscrewing the bottom one last time. Empty now, diamond secured. For what it's worth. Sorry. Japp grunted approval. Next. Accessories. Lesser charges. He turned to Clara, who rose shakily, bobbed hair disheveled. Clara Benson. 25. Assistant. Charge: conspiracy to administer poison, theft of sapphire brooch. You dusted the riciny. Macaron at Reginald's behest? Clara's crisp voice cracked. Yes, sir. Wages denied. Brooch pawned for mother's medicine. He promised boutique funds. Lied. I. Regret. Tears flowed freely. Japp softened fractionally. Plea for leniency. Youth, coercion. Sentence: 3 years. Holloway suspended 2 for good behavior. Repay pawn value. Start fresh, lass. Clara collapsed in relief. Chamois forgotten. Thank you, sir. He'll polish honest from now. Poirot beamed, patting her hand. Brava, mademoiselle. Ambition is no crime, only its shadow. Marcus Duval next. Beret straightened with dignity. Japp eyed him. Marcus Duval, 42, rival jeweler. Charge: conspiracy to supply cyanide crystals and thread, accessory to emerald brooch theft. Lawsuit motive. Marcus bowed theatrically. Oui, Inspector. Victor stole my design. Ruin loomed. Harold begged debt wipe. I gave Pipette silk. But murder. Too crude for Art Deco. Japp chuckled gruffly. French flair won't save you. Sentence: 5 years. Wormwood Scrubs. Deportation post-serve. Brooch returned. Lawsuit dropped. Marcus sighed theatrically. C'est la vie. My Paris awaits. He tipped his beret to Poirot. You, monsieur, genius. A cognac sometime? Harold Langford slouched forward, curls tousled, eyes hollow. Harold Langford, 32, nephew. Charges: conspiracy to steal emerald brooch, supply rice and vial, plant false clues. Inheritance debts? Harold drawled bitterly. 10,000 at the tables, uncle. Reginald promised, cut will. Framed meself? Irony. Lifted brooch during chaos, planted on Marcus. Jap shook his head. Wastrel, sentence, 7 years Dartmoor, hard labor, repaid debts from estate. Harold smirked faintly. Poker lessons in prison? Count on it. Poirot wagged a finger. Non mon garçon. Learn honesty. Your true jackpot. Amelia rose gracefully, emerald gown still impeccable, twin pearls now matched. Jap's tone gentled. Amelia Langford, 42, widow. Charge: forgery of incriminating note, planting earring red herring. A fair motive for freedom? She met his gaze steadily, voice melodic. Yes, Inspector. Julian and I, true love. Victor cold as diamonds. Reginald vowed divorce papers post-death. The note. My folly. Jap nodded. No poison hand. Sentence: fine 500, community service at orphanage. Your stage talents for good. Amelia curtsied. Redeemed, sir. Julian awaits. She blew a kiss to Poirot. My garbo grace. Your doing. Old Tom Wilkins shuffled forward, lantern at his feet. Thomas Wilkins, 65. Watchman. Charge: aiding entry to scarred brother, accepting bribe. Tom's gravel voice trembled. 40 years loyal, sir. Brother's debts, $20 to look away at 740. No murder hand. Jap clapped his shoulder. Pensioner loyalty. Sentence, probation, repay bribe. Back to rounds, clean. Tom's eyes misted. Bless you, Governor. Lantern swings true again. Finally, Elsie, radiant now, on her feet. Jap smiled outright. Elsie Wilkins, 40, maid. Charges? None. Abused? Yes. Witness to all? Hand innocent. Elsie beamed, rosary glowing. Knew it, sir. Victor sharp. But I served faithful. Poirot pressed a florin into her palm. For your mother, brave Phil. Raise wages. Shop yours now. Jap snapped his notebook shut. Case closed. All rise. Constables led Reginald and allies away. Harold whistling, Marcus humming La Marseillaise, Clara waving. Amelia embraced Elsie. Tom relit his lantern. Doors chimed open. Freedom song. Poirot turned to Hastings, gathering hat and cane. Magnifique. Justice. Balanced scales. Greed punished. Innocence rewarded. Redemption offered. Hastings grinned. You wizard old man. Coq au vin at Simpson's? Poirot's moustache danced. Avec plaisir. But first, tisane refill. Outside, Amberlight bustled anew. Shopkeepers unshuttering. Ladies cooing over reopened displays. Clara's first polish gleamed. The fountain clock struck 8. Rebirth. Victor's empire? Amelia's now, with Poirot's quiet counsel. Sell wisely, madam. Love over ledgers. As Poirot and Hastings stepped into sunlight, a newsboy cried, Locked room killer. Nabbed. Poirot strikes again. The Belgian twirled his moustache. The grey cells, they never sleep. The arcade shimmered. Amber light eternal. Justice served. Mystery solved. London breathed free. Chapter 8. Unraveling Alibis. The morning sun of October 11th, 1925, climbed higher over London, bathing Amberlight Arcade in a golden haze that transformed the previous night's grim tableau into a scene from a society watercolor. By 9 o'clock, Langford's jewels hummed with tentative rebirth. Constables departed with clanking vans, their sirens fading into Oxford Street's bustle. Shopkeepers across the passageway unshuttered with cheerful calls of morning, all troubles past. And the central fountain bubbled merrily, its clock chiming a fresh hour as if to wash away the poison stain. Inside the salon, the air carried the comforting sense of beeswax polish and Elsie's strong Darjeeling tea. replacing the almond ghost forever. Velvet chaises stood pristine, display cases gleamed anew, and the shattered office door, repaired overnight by a hasty carpenter, swung smoothly on oiled hinges. Hercule Poirot and Captain Hastings lingered at a small table by the fire, the Belgian savouring his third tisane, while Hastings tucked into a belated breakfast of kippers and toast from Simpson's, delivered by bicycle boy. Inspector Japp had returned to Scotland Yard for paperwork triumph, but not before clapping Poirot's shoulder with a gruff, "Owe you a pint, old bean." The suspects, or the freed ones, bustled about, Amelia directing Clara with graceful commands, Marcus packing his toolkit for Paris, Elsie beaming as she swept, and old Tom Wilkins resuming rounds, lantern swapped for a shiny new rattle. "Ah, Hastings, mon ami," Poirot sighed contentedly, setting down his cup with a delicate clink, his egg-shaped head catching the light like polished ivory. Justice served is a symphony concluded. But always, the coda lingers. The alibis, they unravel further, thread by silken thread, revealing not just guilt, but the human tapestry beneath. Observe. He gestured with his cane toward the salon, where the remnants of the drama played out in miniature. First, Amelia Langford, now widow in truth, glided from the office, emerald gown refreshed, twin pearls swinging in perfect harmony. She paused by Poirot, curtsying with theatrical poise. "Monsieur Poirot, your genius has freed me. The will, Victor's, leaves everything to me, naturally. But the ledgers, Reginald's falsifications, unraveling my accounts too." Her voice trembled artfully, but her eyes sparkled with calculation. Poirot bowed low. "Madame, the alibis unravel, oui, but truth rebuilds. Your chatting private lies with Harold?" "None," whispered affair plans. Julian's arrival coded in coward's lines. "Elliot and Amanda, your signals. But mercy, your note forgery was desperation, not death. Sell wisely. The diamond fetches 30,000 clean. Charity for orphans, non? Your stage returns there." Amelia laughed, a melodic trill. "Redeemed director. Julian paints the gala poster tonight." She air-kissed Poirot's cheeks, Chanel wafting, and swept to the telephone. "Ring, Dorchester. Julian, darling. Freedom's script is ours." Hastings chuckled over kippers. "Clever minx. Alibi. Theatre talk. Code." Poirot's moustache quivered. "Exactement. Now watch Clara." The assistant, Bob restored, uniform crisp, polished the sapphire brooch case with renewed vigor, her sharp features softened by relief. She approached shyly, chamois in hand. "Sir, the 3 years suspended. I start tomorrow at the orphanage craft room, but my alibi, polishing cases, unraveled. I swapped the macaron at 6:45. Reginald's wink my cue. Thought it sleeping pills. Wages rise, love. Foolish girl." Tears welled, but she straightened. "Your boutique dream lives, mademoiselle?" Poirot soothed, pressing a card. "Madame Duval in Paris. Apprentice, no charge. Art Deco calls." Clara beamed, curtsying, Polish for progress. "Thank you, sir." She returned to work, humming, "Yes, we have no bananas." Japp's motorcar honked outside. Return visit. The inspector burst in, notebook flapping. Poirot. "Alibis confirmed at yard. Telegrams galore. Reginald's smoke break. 5 minutes outside, but ash inside office. Your nail." He slipped alcove first, whispered Japp urgent through keyhole. Unraveled. Poirot nodded serenely. "The singing clue, mon ami?" His flask bottom, diamond hidey hole, frayed silk from his handkerchief. Not Marcuse's sachet. Greed's own thread. Marcus Duval wheeled in a trunk, very jaunty, toolkit clinking. "Bonjour, geniuses. My alibi. Admiring cufflinks. Pacing to pipette cyanide on glasses. 7:45 exact. Lawsuit rage, Harold's debt plea, thread for brooch lift. But you unraveled my vile, empty pre-arrival, Reginald's lab supply, alliance dust. He bowed to Poirot, cognac in Paris. My treat. Poirot twinkled. Avec plaisir, monsieur. Return brooch shines. New designs await. Marcus kissed Elsie's hand. Brave maid, and trundled out, whistling La Vie en Rose. Train to Dover at noon. Harold's turn came dramatically. Constables delivered him from cells for final statement, irons clanking. The wastrel slouched into an armchair, curls wild, but eyes clearer. Dartmoor, eh? Alibi unraveled. Smoking, checking watch. Slipped a Stepney for rice and vial, back by 7:20. Planted my own cracked watch on desk, 8:15 fake. Reginald's frame you irony. Inheritance cut anyway. He grinned ruefully. Beaux-Cadets, estate pays, lessons learned. No more marked cards. Poirot leaned close. Mon garçon, alibis hide shadows. Yours hid fear. In prison, read Euclid. Logic over luck. Harold saluted. Grey cells for me. Cheers, Belgian. Whisked away, whistling The Man Who Broke the Bank. Elsie bustled with tea tray, rosary pocketed, face radiant. Sir, my alibi. Serving tray? Pure, but unraveled kindness. I heard Reginald whisper to Clara at 6:30. Ignored, fearing sack. Victor's barbs ended. She curtsied. Shop's mine now, Amelia's gift. Mother's medicine paid. Poirot patted her chapped hand. Braveheart, Phil, your hook, apples only, red herring sweet. Elsie blushed. Macarons for orphans tomorrow. Old Tom shuffled in from rounds, rattle swinging. Gov, alibi solid. Round 7, low 8, Soho. But unraveled. Brother's scar at 7:40, 20 blind eye. Loyal 40 years, pension safe. He saluted Poirot. Lantern true forever. Out he went, whistling Rule Britannia. By 11, salon emptied, save Poirot and Hastings. Jap returned final. All alibis unraveled, court packets sealed. Reginald sings like canary, full web confessed, hanging swift. He bumped Poirot's hand. Pint at Simpson's, now. The trio strolled out, arcade alive, ladies cooing over gems, fountain sparkling. Amelia waved from window. Gala next week. Clara polished, beaming. Newsboy, Poirot, unravels arcade alibis, full exclusive. At Simpson's over cocoa van and pints, Hastings toasted. To unraveled threads, truth eternal. Poirot raised Tizan to grey cells and human redemption. Alibi fall, but hearts rise. Chapter 9. The Final Confrontation. By noon on that golden October 11th, 1925, Amberlight Arcade had shaken off its shroud of suspicion like a butterfly emerging from chrysalis, its glass ceiling ablaze with prismatic sunlight that danced across marble floors and set every display case alight. Langford's jewels stood as its radiant heart, the office door not merely repaired, but adorned with a fresh brass plaque, Amelia Langford, proprietress, hammered in place by the carpenter with a flourish. Outside, Oxford Street thrummed with life, motor cars honking merrily, ladies in cloche hats cooing over reopened shops, newsboys waving fresh editions, Poirot's arcade triumph, Killer confesses all, and the central fountain bubbling a joyful counterpoint to the city's rhythm. But inside the salon, a different rhythm pulsed, one of quiet, profound confrontation, where the echoes of last night's chaos met the dawn of new beginnings. Hercule Poirot and Captain Hastings had returned from Simpson's, the Belgian's button shoes gleaming, his egg-shaped head tilted in benevolent scrutiny, moustache drooping with satisfaction over a fresh tisane. Inspector Japp lounged by the fire, pint glass swapped for tea, his bulldog jowls relaxed in rare repose. The freed souls of the drama gathered once more, not as suspects, but as souls seeking closure. Amelia radiant in a new sapphire gown, Clara beaming with polished cloth in hand, Elsie bustling with a tea tray of Fortnum's fresh scones, old Tom Wilkins at the door with lantern polished to a mirror shine, and even the departed ones represented. Marcus, by a farewell telegram from Dover Cognac, awaits. Genius. Brooch shines eternal. MD Harold, by a cheeky postcard from Dartmoor Euclids. Logical, poker next. Cheers, Westrel. Reginald alone was absent, his cell at Scotland Yard, the final silent confrontation with his fate. Ah, mes amis, Poirot trilled softly, rising from his chaise with the grace of a conductor at symphony's end, cane tapping a gentle finale. The final confrontation approaches, not with truncheons or irons, but with hearts laid bare. Last night, we unmasked the killer. Today, we embrace the healed. Each of you stands at your alibi's grave, yet from its earth springs new life. Come one by one and face the mirror of truth. Amelia, madame, begin. Amelia Langford glided forward, her emerald eyes no longer shadowed, but sparkling like the gems she now commanded. She curtsied deeply to Poirot, twin pearls swaying in perfect rhythm. Monsieur, the confrontation I feared most was with myself. The cold wife, the scheming actress, my alibi of private lives chatter, a veil for Julian's coded arrival, the forged note, my desperate script. Victor. We drifted to strangers, but murder, never my line. Her voice, melodic as ever, cracked with genuine remorse. Reginald's promise of divorce papers poisoned my judgment. But you, sir, your mercy fine of 500, paid at the orphanage door this morning, and the will, everything mine. She gestured to the office, where ledgers now balanced true. Confrontation 1. I sell the Amberlight diamond at Christie's next week. Proceeds to Actors' Widows' Fund. Julian paints the auction poster. Freedom sparkle. Tears glistened, but she smiled. A gala here tomorrow. Your guest of honor, all of you. Poirot bowed, kissing her hand. Brava, madame. From stage ingenue to philanthropist, your true role. The earring mate, no longer red herring, but symbol, pairs made whole. Hastings clapped warmly. Top hole, Mrs. Langford. Alibi unraveled, heart reborn. Next, Clara Benson stepped up, her bobbed hair gleaming, uniform traded for a crisp apprentice smock from Madame Duval. Telegram Paris awaits. Polish star. She curtsied shyly, chamois clutched like a talisman. Sir, my confrontations with ambition's shadow. Polishing cases alibi. Cover for swapping that rice and macaron at 6:45. Reginald's wink. Wages rise if Victor sleeps eternal. Thought it harmless powder. And the sapphire brooch pawned. For mother's cough syrup. Her sharp features softened utterly. Your boutique card, first class to Paris tomorrow. But today, I polish for Amelia, wages tripled. She held up the sapphire case, flawless now. Confrontation faced. I confess the full theft of the yard this afternoon, repay every shilling, no more shadows. Elsie pressed a scone into her hand. Clara beamed. From typing pool to Art Deco queen, grey cells taught me. Poirot patted her cheek. Magnifique, mademoiselle, your thread was coercions, not greeds. Shine on, little star. Jap grunted approval, sipping tea. Suspended sentence holds. Clean slate, Benson. Elsie Wilkins bustled forward then, tray set aside, her chapped hands now gloved in soft kid, Amelia's gift. No longer mousy, she stood tall, rosary pocketed with pride. Mr. Poirot, sir, my confrontation simple. Silence is cost. Serving tray alibi. Pure truth. I heard Reginald whisper poison plans at 6:30. Saw Clara's swap, but feared Victor's barbs, clumsy cow. So I served silent. Tears welled, but joy overpowered. Your florin for mother? Bought tonic and a new apron? And Amelia, shop's half mine now, partner. Confrontation 1. I faced the yard too, witness full, no bribes. Tom's brother. Turned himself in Stepney. My doing. She hugged Clara fiercely. Macarons tomorrow? Honest ones. For the gala. Poirot embraced her gently. Brave Phil of all work. Your hook peeled only apples. Heart peeled clean. Justices. True servant. Old Tom Wilkins shuffled up last of the free, rattle swinging like a scepter, lantern beaming. Governors, my confrontations with loyalties, blind eye. Round 7-8, solid. Save that 740 scar. Me brother, 20 hush for rice and drop. 40 years true, but family blood. His gravel voice steadied. Pension safe. Probation walked. Confronted brother myself. Confessed all at station. Lantern swings clean now. He saluted sharply. Arcade's mine eternal. First round on me at the gala. Jap clapped his back. Good man, Wilkins. Yard needs more like you. The salon swelled with warmth. Telegrams read aloud. Marcus Paris brooch gleams. Cognac tripled. Harold's Dartmoor diamonds. Euclid wins. Farewell pint ode. But the deepest confrontation echoed from afar. A Scotland Yard runner arrived with Reginald's final letter, penned in cell at dawn. Jap cleared his throat, reading solemn. To Poirot, master of threads, my alibi unraveled, my empire dust. Confront myself, greed's puppet master, pulling allies to ruin. Victor's confrontation yesterday morn, ruin at dawn, sparked panic, flasks false bottom. My grave, hanging comes, but mercy for them, Clara's youth, Amelia's heart, all coerced. Forgive my smoke break lie. Ash betrays all. One request. Auction diamond for Langford widows. Reginald Thorne, broken but unrepentant no more. Silence fell, broken by Amelia's sob. Then applause. To Reginald, Poirot toasted with tisane. Confrontation complete. Villain to villain no more. At 1 p.m., the final gathering, all clasped hands in circle. Amelia, Clara, Elsie, Tom, Poirot, Hastings, Jap. To Amberlight reborn. Glasses clinked, tea, scones shared. Outside, the fountain chimed too. Ladies queued at the door. Amelia flung it wide. Langford's open, gems and grace. Poirot and Hastings departed at 3, motorcar purring. Jap waved. Pint next case. The arcade shimmered, echoes fading to song. As they rolled to Whitechapel, Hastings sighed. Final confrontation, eh? Hearts mended. Poirot twirled moustache. Oui, mon capitaine. Mystery's end, but humanity's tale. Eternal. Chapter 10. Justice and Farewell. The afternoon sun of October 11th, 1925, hung like a burnished pendant over London, casting long, golden fingers through amberlight arcades, vaulted glass ceiling, and bathing Langford's jewels in a perpetual amber glow that seemed to bless every facet, every memory. By 3:30, the salon thrummed with the soft symphony of rebirth. Crystal chandeliers tinkling faintly in the breeze from propped open doors, marble floors gleaming under Elsie's fresh beeswax polish, display cases alive with sparkling tiaras and ruby rings that caught the light like captured sunsets. Outside, Oxford Street pulsed with liberated energy, motorcars purring past, ladies in cloche hats, and feather boas streaming in with delighted gasps. Oh, the scandal's over. Gems galore. Newsboys hollering final editions. Poirot's. Farewell. Arcade rises from ashes, and the central fountain's clock, chiming 4, with a joyful lilt, as if tolling not time, but triumph. Inside, the air carried the warm scents of Darjeeling tea, fresh scones from Fortnum's, and a hint of Chanel No. 5, sense of closure, of lives remade. Hercule Poirot and Captain Hastings stood at the salon's heart, the Belgian immaculate in midnight blue, egg-shaped head aglow, moustache drooping in serene satisfaction over his final tisane. Hastings sporting, umbrella furled, a boyish grin splitting his moustache as he pocketed a complimentary sapphire cufflink from Amelia. Inspector Japp had departed for yard honors, but not without a final bellow. Pint next mystery, Poirot, you legend. The redeemed souls gathered one last time, not in suspicion's circle, but in celebration's embrace. Amelia radiant as proprietress, sapphire gown swirling, Clara in her Paris-bound smock, polishing with starlit eyes, Elsie bustling with a tray of champagne flutes, non-alcoholic for Poirot. Old Tom Wilkins at the door, rattle polished to a king's scepter, and echoes of the distant Marcus telegram binned proudly, Paris gleams, cognac eternal. MD, Harold's postcard framed Dartmoor diamonds. Logic wins. HL, even Reginald's letter folded tenderly. Mercy for them. RT. Ah, mes amis, Poirot trilled softly, raising his tisane with gloved hand, cane planted like a scepter of order, his Belgian lilt, a velvet lullaby that hushed the bustling salon, the ultimate farewell, arrives, not with tears alone, but with reflections that shine eternal, like the Amberlight diamond itself. Justice served is no ending, but a beginning, from locked room shadows to open-hearted light. We reflect now, one by one, on lessons etched in grey cells and human gold. Amelia, Madame, your mirror first. Amelia Langford glided to center stage, her emerald eyes brimming with the footlights of her past and the dawn of her future. She lifted a champagne flute, voice melodic as a West End aria. Monsieur Poirot, Reflections. My marriage to Victor was a grand production, passion's overture fading to indifferent curtain calls. The locked room, my heart's own prison. Affair whispers my escape script. But your revelation, it freed not just my body, but my soul. Justice's reflection. I sell the diamond Tuesday, 30,000 to actors' widows, as Reginald begged from his cell. The gala tonight, Amberlight reborn, Julian's murals, Clara's designs, Elsie's macarons honest and sweet. Farewell to cold Victor. Hello to warm legacy. She curtsied deeply, tears sparkling like dew. You, sir, Director of Destinies, guest of honor forever. The salon erupted in applause. Ladies at displays cheered, clinking purchases. Poirot bowed low, kissing her hand. Magnifique, madame. Reflection gleams, from ingenue to empress, love's true diamond. Hastings beamed, cufflink glinting. Bravo, Alibi's ashes, Phoenix rises. Clara Benson stepped forward next, her bobbed hair catching sunlight like a halo, apprentice smock embroidered Duval star. She raised her flute shyly, crisp voice now laced with wonder. Sir, my reflections. Ambition was my locked room, typing pool dreams caged by Victor's wage denials. Polishing cases alibi hid the rice and swap. Reginald's lie my key. But Justice's mirror, it polished me clean. Suspended sentence, a fresh chamois. Paris train at 6, Madame Duval's boutique, Art Deco queen. Tonight, I designed the gala brooch, sapphire and pearl, earring maid's eternal. She held up a sketch, facets dancing. Reflection learned, shine honest or shatter. From pawned thief to Paris polish, your grey cells. My lathe. Elsie hugged her. Clara blushed, passing scones to customers. Poirot patted her cheek fondly. Étoile montante. Mademoiselle, reflection sparkles, shadows buffed to brilliance. Elsie Wilkins bustled up, tray balanced with flair, her new kid gloves gleaming, face radiant as a rose in full bloom. Mr. Poirot, sir, reflection simple as tea. Service was my silent cell. Victor's bobs the bolts, serving tray alibi. Truth pure. I heard all, said nothing, fearing clumsy cow. But Justice's glass, it brewed me strong. Shop partner with Amelia now. Wages triple, mother's tonic flowing. Tonight's macarons, lavender honest, for every guest. And Tom's brother. Stepney court tomorrow. My witness saves him probation. She curtsied, rosary peaking. Reflections warmth. Faithful heart unlocks all doors. From overlooked maid to Amberlight heart. Your Tizan taught me. Poirot embraced her warmly. Cher fille. Reflection steeps, quiet strength, the finest brew. Old Tom Wilkins shuffled forward, rattle raised like a banner, lantern beaming heroic. Governors, reflections from 40 years' rounds. Loyalty was me locked gate, brothers scar the keyhole slip. Brown's alibi? Solid save that 20 lolly blind eye. Justice's lantern, lights me true. Probation walked, pension gold. Tonight, I got the gala. Rattle sings welcome. Arcade's mine eternal. Scandals just stories. He saluted sharply, voice gravel warm. Reflections glow, family first, but law's light brighter. From foggy watchman to hero's beam, your cells swung me straight. Jap's echo arrived via runner. Telegram yard toasts Poirot. Pint eternal. Alibi's dust. Justice gold. J. The salon laughed. Flutes clinked anew. At 5, the gala swelled. Doors flung wide, string quartet, striking Rule Britannia. Ladies queuing for Amberlight reborn brooch, $5 donation to widows. Amelia unveiled Julian's mural, Poirot's silhouette, threads weaving to diamond light. Clara pinned first brooch on Elsie. Tom rattled triumphant. Scones vanished, champagne flowed. Poirot and Hastings slipped to chaise corner, reflections private. Mon Capitaine, Poirot sighed, mustache dipping into Tizan. Justice's grand mirror, 6 souls tangled in greed's web. Reginald's smoke break ash the betrayer. Locked room, heart's own, bolted by fear. Reflections eternal, mercy for coerced Clara's youth, Amelia's love, wisdom for wastrels, Harold's Euclid, renewal for loyal Elsie, Tom. Diamond? Not greed's curse, but charity's crown. Hastings nodded, eyes misty. You wizard old bean. Reflections linger, from fog to forever light. At 6, farewell proper, circle clasped, Amelia, Clara, Elsie, Tom, customers cheering. To grey cells, eternal. Flutes raised, quartet swelled. Old lang syne. Poirot bowed final. Mes amis, justice served, farewells fond. Amberlight shines, humanity's true gem. He and Hastings stepped out, motorcar purring to Whitechapel. Behind, arcade blazed, fountain chime 7, stars pierced glass. Amelia whispered to Julian, our script begins. Clara boarded train, sketching. Elsie served lavender dreams. Tom rattled into night. Poirot gazed from window. Another order from chaos. Hastings. Reflections. The heart's little grey cells, eternal.